leaked at some point in the past, but I couldn't find any evidence of it. Every roof has leaked at some point previously somewhere. This one, there's no evidence. The roof deck looks good. The shingles look surprisingly good. You saw me up there. It's probably like a 612 pitch. It's a pretty steep roof, so you don't just get up on a roof that's 12 years old and walk on it unless you're very comfortable. And I was pretty comfortable up there.
That's original.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't have expected it to have been replaced. So I doubt very much it ever has, and there's no debris anywhere in the attic space or anything that would indicate that the roof shingles have been replaced. So it's original. But it's good. The shingles are in good shape. In the attic, again, everything looked very good from front to back. Access in this attic is very good. Like, you have a lot of room to work. So when you get into the garage, you can easily, you have plenty of storage room, which I saw up there. They have some decking down, which is really good. But you can easily walk to the front gable, both of them, the one above the patio in the front and the one above the inside in the front. And doing that, when I pulled up to this house, the first thing I looked at from across the street was if there's going to be a roof leak, where's it going to be? And that would be it.
That's my target, right?
That's my target, right over there. And I went up there and I photographed those areas and I checked them. They're dry. I mean, I don't think you have any problems. I think you've had a couple of visitors up there over the years. I don't know how recent, but a couple of rodents and stuff and some droppings. But you know, that's pretty normal, especially out here. You know, any place where you have all this openness and stuff like that, all those orange groves that used to be here. Ductwork looks good. I think your son will be happy with it. What's nice about it, you might want to ask him about cleaning, because I don't know how long it's been, if they've ever done it or if it's ever been done. Probably not, because it's not old enough. But I did see a little bit of staining, and maybe before these guys owned it, it could have been neglected at some point in the history. So if you have access to someone like that, utilize it. The outside of the ducts look great, and the flow seems fine. Nice thing about it is the way these houses are designed, they're designed to accommodate any system you would put in here pretty much, because you've got intakes in the bedrooms, you've got all that additional intake ventilation already installed. So that's a big plus. The unit itself is original, and it's cooling and heating perfectly, but you got to recognize it has some age behind it, so there's no telling how long it may or may not last. Just be ready for next 1 to 3, 2 to 4 years. And fortunately, you have family in the business. That's always helpful. Water heater is the same thing. It's working, it's original, same age, so you want to put that in the category of just being aware of the age of it. But condition-wise, it's good, and performance-wise, it's good. Any questions on any of this so far? Structurally, I was very suspect when I drove past and I looked at this house next door with all those cracks.
Right.
Some of these homes were just done really bad with stucco, and that's pretty true throughout most communities built in 05, 06. There's even before then, there was lawsuits against the application of stucco with Ryland Homes and a bunch of other builders. And it used to be in a Sentinel after Charlie came through, people opened up their walls and found a whole bunch of mold in there, and nobody ever suspected it until they had a major storm. Well, it didn't just happen during Charlie, it happened over time before Charlie. That's what could have happened here if this house wasn't so well maintained. I mean, it's well painted, it's well preserved, drainage control with the roof. I always look for like where the water's going to be, so I know when I get inside I'm going to look for where it's leaked. I don't know how long you guys have had it, but fortunately there's no real evidence of water penetration that I was able to find. And you guys were here, so you saw me. I pretty much hugged every wall where I could. You know, even the teepee wall with the tree. I was behind there.
All right.
But I checked under the windows and I used the moisture meter where appropriate in the corners and at the bottom, and I don't find anything wet. And that was after running sprinklers too, which I did earlier in the day. So that's a nice positive sign. There are some cracks at the front gable wall. They haven't caused leaks as of yet, and since the home has recently been painted and the cracks have opened up again, probably want to seal them now and just check them periodically. Because if you get a lot of wind coming out of the north, northeast, northwest, it could drive it in, and it might seem like a roof leak, but it would be a gable wall leak. Okay. Insulation up in the attic was about R30. It's the cellulose stuff. Pretty well done, nothing missing. Everything looks okay. If you wanted to improve it, I guess you could, but it's only just a matter of 2 or 3 more inches at most. Today they're doing like R38. So you'd have to ask yourself how long you're going to live here and all that, and what else factors into the equation. I'm going to say everything looks very good up there. On the electrical, you have a 200 amp service main panel outside that's on this wall over on the right side of the garage. Square D equipment, that's all good equipment. and the wiring and everything inside the panel looks pretty decent. I mean, there was a lizard that probably had a bad year that committed suicide on one of the lugs in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of laying there, got fried. It happens, you know. You never can tell what the cause of that was. But anyway, it looks good. It's the right size for the house. I mean, you're pushing 2,800 square feet here. So 200 amp is what would be installed in any 2,800 square foot house built even today. So if you wanted to add services to it, I don't know what you would do, but you could always add more. The sub panel looks good, branch wiring looks good. I opened it up, well, you were with me when I opened it up. The only thing I have with electrical are a series of minor issues, and there's probably about 7 or 8 of them, and here's what they are. In the attic space, there's about 6 places where wiring has been spliced together, and this is something pretty common in my industry, you know this. In the attic where there's no junction box. So they've been added. I don't know when, I don't know who or how, I just know they're there. You've got 2 in this corner, you've got 1 in this corner, which I guess is the master bedroom corner. So there's 3, you have 1 located right above here, which would be 4, and then there's 2 near the garage attic access panel. What you want to do is you want to just make sure that they find out if it's okay that the splices were done. Most likely it is, otherwise things would be tripping all over the place if it wasn't. But just have them verify it and then put it in a box. And the reason it gets put in a box is just simple. If God forbid you have a fire or something happens and they send an inspector out to investigate the cause of the fire and they find anything that is not considered standard wiring, like substandard wiring, it could be a problem. So I have the photographs of them and I counted them out and the locations.
Okay.
So you guys know where they are. Another electrical issue is right behind me actually. These things are very inexpensive. They're like $15, $20. But the way they're wired in most homes is they're wired to several outlets. So this one is connected to this one and to that one. And because that one's not working, it's not resetting, these 2 outlets have no power. Okay, so that's that one. And then there's one in this midway hall bathroom right here. I'm going to speculate, because I'm going to ask someone to look at it further, but my speculation is the reason the light might not be working in that bathroom is because it could be on the same circuit as that GFI that's not working in that bathroom. So I guess troubleshooting it first would be to replace the GFI, and then if you still have no power at the light, then you got to look elsewhere. All right, but those are examples of what we would consider minor electrical problems. So I'll highlight them, and they'll know where they are and how they, what our opinion is, but something you may want to get fixed. Air conditioning units and the performance we talked about, that was good. On the electrical was good too. Breakers are the right size. All original equipment, someone signed off on this in the beginning when it was permitted. So that's why I'm pretty confident that the circuit, main panel, sub panel, and all the wiring that's throughout, with the exception of what I just mentioned, is good. Visually, you can confirm that just by looking at the material. You had questions about the pool. I got no issues with the pool. I mean, everything that I've operated checked out, and here's what I did. Checked the timer, on and off. Solar panels, I think they were not too long ago installed. We did public record search on that, and we actually came up with solar panels in 2011.
We actually checked that too.
Oh, did you? Well, there you
Yeah.
go. Perfect, so then you know. So I was on the roof while they actually have it on, like it was in the on position. So I checked it from the side and from the top, no leaks, no problems. And it's all new brackets, which was really good because they're all shiny and not rusted. And in the attic underneath there's no signs of leaking, previously or currently. And then the spa is just a manual valve that you turn. And I took some photographs, I operated the spa, the waterfall works. The pool lights are a little different. I don't know if you're used to these, I forget what they're called, but they're long stretches of tubing that come into small lights, one in the spa, one in the pool.
Fiber.
That's it, fiber optics. You turn it on from that little box that's next to the PVC pipe sticking in.
Black box out there.
Yeah, and it rotates different colors.
Yeah.
Okay, so pool surface looks fine, patio looks good. If you pull public records, you already know the situation with the screen enclosure, probably just a builder mess up type thing. That shouldn't be a problem to get closed, I would think. And that one was from May of 2005. So for whatever purpose that is. So anyway, I think overall, this is a really well-maintained house. It's in excellent condition with really very few problems. I mean, that's my assessment. I look for things that people get worried about, like evidence of contaminated or reactive drywall. There's nothing visible to me. Yeah.
Chinese apple.
This was a year.
What was that? It was before that, right?
What's that?
The Chinese drywall.
Well, it was from like, I've only found it in 2006 and early '07. I've never found it in '05, but I still look. And evidence of that is the electrical wiring would be black in some cases, and so would those coils that we looked at
Right.
from all the year.
I got you.
So I didn't see any evidence of that.
And then the piping.
Oh, it's piping CPVC.
It's fine. Okay.
Yeah, no issues with the pipes. It's actually very simple to follow. Water meter is at the front left corner. It's right near those bushes where the electrical transformer is. And then there's a shutoff valve at this side of the house on the corner. Easy to find, it's behind the bushes, but you can't miss it. And it has a pressure regulator on it, probably from when they were building the community, because the water pressure might have been really high. I don't know how close they are to a water tower here, but it's good that the regulator's on there. Because sometimes if the pressure's up there around 90, 100 pounds per square inch, you could have some leak in different places. Valves start to give and such. Like Celebration has that problem, and parts of Claremont that have that problem.
Perfect, thanks, Paul.
Oh, thank you.